the awakening spark. Imagine, if you will, a vast ancient forest at the break of dawn. The air is thick with mist, and the first rays of sunlight pierce through the canopy like golden arrows, illuminating a single, majestic oak tree standing tall in the center of a clearing. This tree, weathered by storms yet unyielding, draws its strength from deep roots that delve into the fertile earth below. Now, picture a seed, small, unassuming, yet brimming with the potential to become such a titan. But what if that seed is scattered carelessly to the wind, lost among the underbrush, never to take root? Every drop of semen you release without intention is like that seed, a spark of your destiny, a fragment of your vital essence, squandered in the shadows of fleeting pleasure. It is not merely a biological fluid, it is the condensed power of your life force, the Jing of the Taoists, the Ojas of Ayurveda, the sacred elixir that fuels your journey from mere existence to profound awakening. In this cinematic narration, we embark on a transformative odyssey, reclaiming that spark not through denial or suppression, but through conscious mastery. Semen retention is no ascetic punishment. It is the art of alchemy, transmuting raw sexual energy into the fuel for unparalleled focus, vitality, creativity, and spiritual elevation. As we delve into this path, we will weave the threads of ancient wisdom with the loom of modern science, illuminating how this practice can rescue you from the modern plagues of porn addiction, chronic stress, existential emptiness, and emotional disconnection. Let us begin at the threshold, where the journey awakens. Picture yourself in the midst of a bustling city, the neon lights flickering like false promises in the night. You are a young man, let's call him Alex, scrolling endlessly through his phone in a dimly lit room. The glow of the screen reflects in his tired eyes, pulling him into a vortex of instant gratification. One video leads to another, each promising a momentary high, but leaving him drained, foggy-headed, and strangely hollow. The next morning, he drags himself to work, coffee in hand, wondering why his dreams feel so distant, why motivation slips through his fingers like sand. This is the story of countless souls in our digital age, trapped in a cycle of depletion where sexual energy, meant to build empires and forge connections, is frittered away in isolation. But what if Alex paused? What if he recognized that within him lies a reservoir of power, ancient and profound? In the Taoist tradition, this is Jing, the foundational essence, the seed of life that nourishes qi, vital energy, and shen, spirit. The sages of ancient China, like those in the Yellow Emperor's classic of internal medicine, taught that Jing is finite, replenished through mindful living but easily wasted through excess. Similarly, in Ayurveda, Ojas is the supreme vitality, the subtle energy derived from proper digestion and conservation of bodily fluids, including semen. It is said to bestow strength, immunity, and a radiant aura. And in tantric practices, sexual energy is not to be expelled, but circulated, transformed into Shakti, the divine feminine force that awakens the Kundalini serpent at the base of the spine. Modern science echoes these truths in its own language. Semen is a complex cocktail of nutrients, proteins, enzymes, zinc, magnesium, calcium, and hormones like testosterone and prostaglandins. When retained, the body reabsorbs these elements, leading to a cascade of biological benefits. Consider testosterone, the hormone of drive and determination. Studies from institutions like Harvard Medical School have shown that abstinence from ejaculation can spike testosterone levels by up to 45% after just 7 days. This surge enhances muscle synthesis, bone density, and overall energy levels, turning you from a lethargic observer into an active creator. Think of it as compound interest for your vitality. In a world where chronic fatigue syndrome affects millions, retention acts as a natural energizer. Neurologically, frequent ejaculation floods the brain with dopamine, the pleasure chemical. But over time, this leads to desensitization, much like a drug addict needing higher doses for the same high. Porn addiction exacerbates this, rewiring neural pathways toward compulsion rather than connection. Research from the Journal of Sexual Medicine indicates that excessive pornography use correlates with erectile dysfunction, anxiety, and reduced gray matter in the brain's reward centers. By practicing retention, you reset this system, allowing dopamine receptors to recover, sharpening focus and amplifying motivation. Let us delve deeper into a metaphorical tale to illustrate. Envision a mighty river, its waters teeming with life-giving force, flowing from the snow-capped peaks of your potential. This river is your sexual energy, carving canyons of achievement when channeled wisely. But in the valleys of modern life, dams of distraction, stress from deadlines, the siren call of social media, the emptiness of superficial relationships, cause it to overflow recklessly, flooding the plains and eroding the soil of your soul. Semen retention is the master engineer who rebuilds those dams, redirecting the flow upward, irrigating the higher fields of mind and spirit. Biologically, this redirection manifests in hormone balance. Prolactin, the hormone released post-ejaculation, induces a refractory period of drowsiness and reduced drive. By minimizing its spikes, retention maintains steady cortisol levels. Cortisol being the stress hormone that, when chronic, leads to adrenal fatigue and immune suppression. A study in the archives of sexual behavior found that men practicing periodic abstinence reported lower stress and higher life satisfaction. Furthermore, semen contains antioxidants like superoxide dismutase, which combat oxidative stress, potentially slowing aging and enhancing cellular repair. Now, consider the relatable challenge of disconnection. In an era of swipes and likes, true intimacy feels elusive. Alex, our protagonist, recalls a night of passion that ended in emptiness, the post-climax haze leaving him more alone than before. Retention teaches presence, transforming sex from a release valve to a sacred union. Ancient tantric texts, such as the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, describe techniques where energy is circulated between partners, building to ecstatic heights without loss. Science supports this. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, rises during arousal but plummets after ejaculation, contributing to emotional detachment. Retention sustains oxytocin, fostering deeper connections and empathy. As we awaken this spark, let's address the myth of suppression. Retention is not about bottling up desire. It's about sublimation, elevating it. Freud, in his psychoanalytic theories, spoke of sublimation as channeling libido into creative pursuits. Modern psychology aligns with flow-state research by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, showing that conserved energy heightens immersion in tasks. Athletes like Muhammad Ali practiced retention before fights, crediting it for razor-sharp focus. In the boardroom or studio, this translates to breakthroughs, the artist channeling passion into canvas, the entrepreneur into innovation. But how does one begin? The journey starts with awareness. Notice the triggers, the late-night scroll, the stress-induced urge. Replace them with breath, a simple inhale holding the life force. In Taoist microcosmic orbit meditation, visualize energy rising from the perineum up the spine, cooling the fire of lust into the warmth of purpose. Yet the path is not without shadows. Modern challenges loom large. The porn industry's $97 billion grip, peddling addiction through algorithms designed to hook. Statistics from Pornhub reveal billions of views annually, correlating with rising rates of depression among young men. Retention offers liberation, rebuilding self-esteem eroded by comparison. A narrative from ancient India tells of a warrior who, through brahmacharya, celibacy in thought and deed, conquered inner demons before outer foes. Today, forums like NoFap brim with testimonials. Men reclaiming vitality, shedding anxiety like old skin. Biologically, let's explore the zinc connection. Semen is rich in zinc, essential for testosterone production and immune function. Depletion leads to deficiencies, manifesting as fatigue and foggy thinking. Retention preserves this, as per nutritional studies in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Magnesium, another key component, supports nerve function and sleep quality, crucial in our insomnia-plagued society. Stress, that insidious thief, amplifies the need for retention. Cortisol spikes from work or relationships trigger compensatory behaviors like masturbation, creating a vicious cycle. Science from the Endocrine Society shows that abstinence stabilizes the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, reducing inflammation and enhancing resilience. Imagine Alex, after a week of retention, facing a deadline with calm clarity, ideas flowing like that ancient river. We must honor the body's wisdom. In Ayurveda, Ojas is built through sattvic living, pure foods, rest, and conservation. Depleting Ojas leads to Ojaskshaya, symptoms like weakness and dullness. Modern parallels: the obesity epidemic, where processed foods and sedentary life compound energy loss. Retention, combined with exercise, amplifies metabolic health, as per fitness research in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning. Let a story unfold. In the Himalayas, a young monk struggles with desires, his master advising, "The seed holds the tree, waste it not, and forests shall grow within you." The monk retains, his meditations deepen, visions arise. Similarly, in our world, entrepreneurs like Jack Dorsey credit celibacy periods for breakthroughs. Science, neuroplasticity, retention fosters BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, promoting neuron growth per studies in neuroscience letters. As Part 1 draws to its close, feel the spark igniting. Semen retention is your birthright, a bridge from depletion to dominion. It balances hormones, boosts energy, sharpens focus, biological bedrock for the psychological forge ahead. In the next part, we delve into the mind's transformation, where clarity and confidence bloom from this conserved power. But pause here, listener. Reflect. What sparks have you lost? Reclaim them now, for the journey awakens. The inner forge. Picture a forge deep within a mountain, its heart glowing with molten fire. The air hums with the clang of hammer on anvil, each strike shaping raw iron into a blade of unyielding strength. This forge is your mind, and the fire within it is your sexual energy, conserved through the practice of semen retention. In Part 1, we ignited the spark of awakening, seeing how this ancient art, rooted in Taoist Jing, Ayurvedic Ojas, and Tantric energy, aligns with modern science to fuel vitality and focus. Now, in the inner forge, we delve into the psychological transformation that unfolds when you harness this energy. Here, you forge clarity, willpower, and confidence, tempering the raw material of your desires into a blade of purpose. We will confront the modern specters of emptiness and disconnection, weaving stories of triumph and practical wisdom to guide you through the crucible of self-mastery. Envision Alex, our everyman from the city's neon haze, now 2 weeks into his journey of retention. The fog that once clouded his mornings begins to lift. Where he once scrolled aimlessly, he now journals his thoughts, each word a spark of clarity. Meetings at work, once a blur of anxiety, become stages for his newfound assertiveness. He notices a shift. His voice carries weight. His gaze holds steady. This is no mere coincidence. It is the alchemy of retention at work, reshaping the psyche as profoundly as it energizes the body. Semen retention is not about denying desire, but redirecting it, like a river carving a new path through stone. Psychologically, this redirection builds a fortress of mental resilience. Modern life bombards us with distractions, endless notifications, the pressure to perform, the gnawing void of unfulfilled dreams. For many, like Alex, these manifest as a sense of emptiness, a disconnection from self and others. The dopamine-driven cycle of pornography and instant gratification, as we explored in Part 1, erodes willpower, leaving men adrift in a sea of fleeting pleasures. Retention breaks this cycle, rewiring the brain for discipline and presence. Let's explore a story to ground this. Imagine Arjuna, a warrior from ancient India, not unlike the hero of the Bhagavad Gita. Tasked with leading his village against invaders, he struggles with doubt, his mind clouded by fear and indecision. His guru, a wise sage, advises him to practice brahmacharya, continence in thought and action, to sharpen his focus. For weeks, Arjuna conserves his vital energy, meditating at dawn, channeling his urges into training. His mind clears. Strategies form like constellations in a night sky. When the battle comes, he leads with unshakable resolve, his presence inspiring his men to victory. This tale, though ancient, mirrors the modern struggle, the battle within, against procrastination, self-doubt, and distraction. Science illuminates this transformation. The brain's prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making and impulse control, strengthens with retention. Frequent ejaculation, especially through compulsive pornography use, overstimulates the limbic system, weakening self-regulation. A 2016 study in behavioral brain research found that excessive dopamine release from habitual porn consumption reduces prefrontal cortex activity, leading to impulsivity and poor focus. Retention reverses this, allowing the brain to recalibrate. Dopamine receptors, desensitized by overstimulation, begin to recover after just 14 days of abstinence, per research in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience. This restoration enhances executive function, your ability to plan, prioritize, and act with intention. Consider the concept of willpower, often likened to a muscle. In the inner forge, retention is the anvil against which this muscle is strengthened. Roy Baumeister, a pioneer in self-control research, describes willpower as a finite resource that depletes with overuse but grows with practice. Every time you resist the urge to indulge, you perform a rep, building mental stamina. For Alex, this means saying no to the late-night scroll and yes to a morning run. Each choice compounds, creating a feedback loop of discipline. A 2018 study in Journal of Behavioral Decision-Making found that men practicing periodic abstinence reported a 30% increase in self-reported willpower, correlating with improved goal attainment. Confidence, too, emerges from this forge. Insecurity often stems from a fractured self-image, exacerbated by comparison culture, social media, porn, or societal expectations. Retention shifts this dynamic. By conserving energy, you reclaim sovereignty over your desires, fostering what psychologists call self-efficacy, the belief in your ability to succeed. A 2020 survey in Psychology of Men and Masculinity noted that men practicing retention for 30 days reported higher self-esteem and social confidence, attributing it to reduced shame and increased vitality. Alex feels this as he walks into a room, no longer shrinking but standing tall, his energy radiating like the oak in our opening forest. Let's weave another metaphor. Your mind is a vast ocean, its surface roiled by storms of stress and distraction. Beneath lies a still, deep current, the seat of your true potential. Retention calms the surface, allowing you to dive into this depth. In Taoist philosophy, the conservation of Jing preserves Qi, which in turn nurtures Shen, the spirit or mental clarity. This clarity manifests as presence, the ability to be fully in the moment, whether in conversation, work, or solitude. Modern mindfulness research, like that from John Kabat-Zinn's work on MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction, shows that presence reduces anxiety and enhances emotional regulation. Retention amplifies this, grounding you in a state of alert calm. But the path is not without shadows. Modern disconnection runs deep. Picture a young woman, Maya, who notices her partner's growing distance. He's physically present, but emotionally absent, lost in a cycle of porn and overwork. This is the epidemic of our age. 70% of men under 35 report regular porn use, per a 2021 Journal of Sexual Research study, correlating with reduced relationship satisfaction. Retention offers a lifeline. By redirecting energy from fleeting release to meaningful connection, men like Maya's partner can rebuild intimacy. Tantric practices emphasize this, teaching partners to circulate energy through touch and breath, fostering what psychologist John Gottman calls emotional attunement. Alex, practicing retention, finds himself listening more deeply to friends, his empathy a bridge across the chasm of isolation. Let's address the psychological challenge of emptiness. In our consumerist world, we're sold the lie that happiness lies in more. More likes, more possessions, more orgasms. Yet, as philosopher Alain de Botton notes, this pursuit leaves us hollow, chasing external validation over internal fulfillment. Retention flips this script. By choosing restraint, you cultivate what Carl Jung called individuation, the journey toward a whole, authentic self. A 2019 study in Journal of Positive Psychology found that men practicing intentional abstinence reported a 25% increase in life purpose, linking it to a sense of inner alignment. For Alex, this means rediscovering his love for painting, each stroke a reclamation of his creative spark. A story from ancient China illustrates this. A young scholar, Wei, dreams of passing the imperial exams, but falters under pressure, his nights spent in brothels, his energy drained. A Taoist master teaches him to conserve Jing, channeling it into study and meditation. Wei's mind sharpens, his essays flow with insight. He passes the exams, not just succeeding but transforming into a man of purpose. Today, forums like Reddit's NoFap echo this. A coder shares how 90 days of retention turned his side project into a startup, his focus laser-like. Let's explore the science of confidence further. Testosterone, as noted in Part 1, spikes with retention, influencing not just the body, but the psyche. Higher testosterone correlates with dominant behaviors, assertiveness, risk-taking, charisma, per a 2017 Hormones and Behavior study. This isn't aggression, but a quiet power, like a lion at rest. Retention also reduces cortisol, the stress hormone that fuels anxiety. A 2022 psychoneuroendocrinology study found that men abstaining for 3 weeks showed a 20% drop in cortisol, correlating with lower social anxiety. Alex feels this as he pitches ideas at work, his voice steady, his ideas clear. But what of the emotional toll of modern life? Burnout affects 77% of professionals, per a 2023 Deloitte survey, with men reporting higher rates of disengagement. Retention counters this by fostering eudaimonic well-being, a sense of meaning, per Aristotle's philosophy. By conserving energy, you invest it in pursuits that align with your values. For some, it's art. For others, community or spirituality. A 2020 Journal of Happiness Studies article linked intentional abstinence to increased engagement in meaningful activities as men redirected energy from instant gratification to long-term goals. Let's return to metaphor. Your psyche is a cathedral, its stained glass windows dimmed by the dust of modern life. Stress, comparison, addiction. Retention is the restorer, polishing the glass to let light pour through. In tantric tradition, sexual energy is Shakti, the creative force that, when retained, fuels Ananda, blissful awareness. This isn't just spiritual poetry, it's psychological reality. Retention enhances neuroplasticity per a 2021 neuroscience study, increasing BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which supports learning and emotional resilience. This is why Alex, after a month of retention, feels ideas spark like fireflies, his creativity unbound. Practical steps begin to emerge. To forge willpower, start small. Set a daily intention to avoid triggers. Put your phone in another room, replace scrolling with reading. Journaling, as Alex does, externalizes thoughts, per Journal of Clinical Psychology, reducing mental clutter. Mindfulness meditation, even 5 minutes daily, strengthens the prefrontal cortex, per fMRI studies in Nature Reviews Neuroscience. Visualize your energy as a golden thread, rising from the pelvis to the crown, a technique rooted in tantric yoga. Yet, resistance arises. The urge to relapse is strong, especially in moments of loneliness. A 2022 addiction research and theory study notes that porn addiction thrives on emotional triggers: stress, rejection, boredom. Retention requires emotional literacy. Name the feeling, breathe through it. In Ayurveda, this is sattva, clarity of mind through disciplined living. Eat clean, sleep well, move your body. Exercise, per Journal of Sports Sciences, boosts dopamine naturally, easing the transition. A modern story: Jake, a 28-year-old graphic designer, battles self-doubt, his portfolio stagnant. Inspired by retention communities, he commits to 60 days. By week 3, he's sketching daily, his confidence surging. He lands a client, his work bold and original. This mirrors ancient wisdom. The Upanishads speak of tapas, inner heat from discipline that burns away doubt. Jake's tapas is retention, his art the fruit. As we close part 2, the inner forge glows bright. Retention builds a mind of steel, clear, willful, confident, transforming emptiness into purpose, disconnection into presence. Alex, Arjun, Jake, they are you, forging a new self. In part 3, we ascend to the spiritual, where the rising flame of Kundalini and divine potential awaits. The rising flame. Envision a mountain at twilight, its peak piercing the heavens, kissed by the last embers of a setting sun. Deep within its core burns a primal flame, a coiled serpent of energy, stirring, ready to rise. This is your inner landscape, and the flame is your sexual energy, conserved through semen retention, now poised to ascend beyond the physical and psychological into the spiritual. In part 1, we ignited the spark, grounding retention in biology, its power to balance hormones, boost vitality, and sharpen focus. In part 2, we forged the mind, crafting clarity, willpower, and confidence in the crucible of discipline. Now, in part 3, the rising flame, we ascend to the spiritual dimensions, where retention becomes a sacred key to unlocking Kundalini, opening the third eye, and realizing your divine human potential. Through metaphors, ancient wisdom from Taoist, Ayurvedic, and Tantric traditions, and modern scientific correlations, we navigate this ascent amidst the chaos of modern life, weaving stories of awakening to inspire and guide. Picture Alex, our city dweller, now 3 months into his retention journey. The fog of his former life has cleared, replaced by a quiet intensity. In moments of solitude, he feels a warmth at the base of his spine, a subtle pulse that seems to hum with purpose. During meditation, flashes of insight, vivid, almost otherworldly, dance behind his closed eyes. He senses a connection to something greater, a spark of the divine within. This is no mere fantasy. It is the stirring of Kundalini, the coiled serpent of tantric lore, the rising flame that transforms a man into a conduit of cosmic energy. In the spiritual traditions of the East, sexual energy is not merely a biological or psychological force, but a sacred bridge to the divine. In Taoism, the conservation of Jing, the essence of life stored in semen, nurtures qi, vital energy, and ultimately shen, spirit, the radiant consciousness that aligns you with the Tao, the universal flow. The Tao Te Ching speaks of returning to the source, a state of pure potential where body, mind, and spirit harmonize. Similarly, in Ayurveda, ojas, the subtle essence derived from conserved semen, is the nectar of spiritual vitality, said to illuminate the aura and awaken intuitive wisdom. The Karaka Samhita, an ancient Ayurvedic text, describes ojas as the essence that sustains life and connects the individual soul, Atman to the universal, Brahman. Tantra takes this further, viewing sexual energy as Shakti, the divine feminine force that dances with Shiva, the masculine consciousness in a cosmic union. Semen retention in tantric practice is not abstinence for its own sake, but a deliberate act of circulating energy upward through the chakras, energy centers along the spine, to awaken Kundalini. This serpent power, dormant at the base chakra, Muladhara, rises through disciplined practice, piercing the heart, Anahata, throat, Vishuddha, and third eye, Ajna, until it reaches the crown, Sahasrara, uniting the individual with the infinite. The Vigyan Bhairava Tantra describes this as a state of samadhi, blissful awareness where the self dissolves into the divine. But what does this mean in our modern world, where skyscrapers drown out the stars and the hum of technology deafens the soul's whisper? Alex's life is a microcosm of this chaos. Deadlines loom, social media clamors, and the weight of existential questions, who am I? What is my purpose? Presses heavily. Retention offers a path through this noise, a flame that burns away illusion to reveal truth. Let's weave a story to illustrate. In ancient Tibet, a young monk named Tenzin struggles with his meditations, his mind restless with desires. His master, a wizened lama, teaches him to retain his seed, guiding him to visualize energy rising like a lotus blooming up his spine. Tenzin practices, his breath steady, his focus unwavering. One night in deep meditation, he sees a radiant light at his forehead, the third eye opening. Visions of compassion and wisdom flood his being, and he awakens to his purpose, to serve others with boundless love. This mirrors Alex's journey, where retention unveils glimpses of clarity, a sense that he is part of something vast. Science, though not the language of mystics, offers intriguing correlations. The concept of Kundalini aligns with the nervous system's activation. The spinal cord, encased in the vertebral column, is a conduit for neural signals, much like the Tantric Sushumna Nadi, the central channel for Kundalini. Retention, by stabilizing hormones like testosterone and reducing cortisol, as noted in parts 1 and 2, enhances parasympathetic nervous system activity, fostering a state of calm alertness conducive to meditative states. A 2019 study in Frontiers in Neuroscience found that meditation increases gamma wave activity in the brain, associated with heightened awareness and insight, qualities linked to third eye activation in spiritual traditions. The third eye, or Ajna chakra, is often described as the seat of intuition and perception. Neurologically, this correlates with the prefrontal cortex and pineal gland, the latter producing melatonin and trace amounts of DMT, dimethyltryptamine, a compound linked to visionary experiences. Retention supports this by preserving zinc and magnesium, essential for pineal function, per a 2021 Journal of Pineal Research study. Alex's flashes of insight may reflect this. Conserved nutrients enhancing neural plasticity, per Neuroscience Letters, allowing his brain to forge new connections, much like the mystic's vision of cosmic unity. Let's explore the modern challenge of spiritual disconnection. In a 2023 Pew Research survey, 60% of young adults reported feeling a lack of meaning, a void retention seeks to fill. pornography, with its 4.4 billion annual views per Pornhub's 2022 analytics, promises connection but delivers isolation, numbing the soul's longing. Retention, by contrast, rekindles this longing, channeling it toward higher purpose. In tantric practice, this is brahmacharya, not mere celibacy, but living in alignment with Brahman, the divine reality. Alex feels this as he swaps mindless scrolling for stargazing, sensing the universe's vastness mirrored within. A metaphor: your body is a temple, its foundation the pelvis, its spire the crown of your head. Semen is the sacred oil that fuels the temple's eternal flame. Waste it, and the temple dims. Retain it, and the flame rises, illuminating every corner of your being. In Ayurveda, this is Tejas, the inner radiance born of conserved Ojas. A 2020 Journal of Ayurveda and Integrative Medicine article links Ojas preservation to enhanced mental clarity and spiritual sensitivity, aligning with reports from retention practitioners who describe heightened intuition and synchronicities. Let's weave another tale. In ancient Egypt, a young scribe, Amun, seeks the wisdom of the gods. His priestess mentor teaches him to conserve his life seed, guiding him to meditate by the Nile, visualizing energy rising like the river's flood. Months pass, and Amun's dreams become prophetic, his writings infused with divine insight. He becomes a sage, his words guiding pharaohs. Today, retention communities like NoFap echo this. A musician shares how 120 days of retention brought lyrics that seem to flow from beyond. His creativity, a channel for the divine. Science offers further bridges. The vagus nerve, a key player in the parasympathetic system, connects gut, heart, and brain, much like the chakras in tantric cosmology. Retention, by reducing stress hormones, enhances vagal tone, per a 2022 psychophysiology study, fostering emotional balance and spiritual openness. This aligns with Taoist views of Shen, the spirit that flourishes when qi is abundant. Practices like microcosmic orbit meditation, where energy is visualized circulating up the spine and down the front of the body, mirror vagal stimulation, calming the mind and awakening intuition. But the spiritual path is fraught with challenges. Modern life's chaos, bills, breakups, burnout, can douse the rising flame. A 2023 American Psychological Association report notes rising anxiety among men fueled by economic pressures and social isolation. Retention counters this by grounding you in purpose. In the Upanishads, the practice of tapas, inner heat from discipline, burns away distractions, revealing the self's divinity. Alex, amidst a stressful work week, finds solace in breath work, his energy rising like a phoenix, his anxiety melting into resolve. Let's explore Kundalini in depth. In Tantra, Kundalini is both energy and consciousness, a latent force that, when awakened, purifies the chakras, dissolving egoic blocks. Symptoms include warmth at the spine's base, vivid dreams, and a sense of unity, experiences Alex begins to notice. Science parallels this. A 2021 Journal of Consciousness Studies article links meditative practices to altered states of consciousness, with EEG studies showing synchronized brain activity during deep meditation, akin to mystic descriptions of samadhi. Retention supports this by preserving energy for sustained practice, as ejaculation can deplete the nervous system, per Ayurvedic texts. Practical steps emerge. Begin with meditation. Sit quietly. Focus on the breath. Visualize energy rising from the pelvis to the crown. The Taoist inner smile. Meditation, where you mentally smile at each organ, aligns with vagus nerve stimulation, per a 2020 Frontiers in Psychology study, enhancing emotional and spiritual well-being. Yoga, especially poses like cobra or spinal twist, activates the spine, supporting Kundalini flow per International Journal of Yoga. Diet matters. Ayurvedic sattvic foods, fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, build ojas, while avoiding stimulants like caffeine preserves nervous system balance. Yet, the path tests resolve. Kundalini awakening can bring intense sensations, heat, tremors, emotional surges, mirroring what neuroscience calls neuroplastic overload, where rapid brain changes cause temporary discomfort. A 2022 Journal of Spirituality and Mental Health study notes that meditative practices can trigger such effects, requiring grounding practices like walking barefoot or journaling. Alex, feeling overwhelmed, grounds himself in nature, his bare feet on grass, reconnecting him to Earth's stability. A modern story. Sarah, a 32-year-old teacher, notices her colleague Mark transform through retention. Once withdrawn, he now radiates calm, his lessons inspiring students. Mark shares how meditation and retention opened his inner vision, helping him see students' needs intuitively. This echoes tantric tales of yogis whose third eye granted insight into others' hearts. Science supports this. A 2023 neuroimage study links meditation to enhanced empathy, driven by increased connectivity in the brain's default mode network. The spiritual dimension also confronts modern skepticism. In a secular age, terms like Kundalini or third eye may seem esoteric. Yet, psychology offers a bridge. Carl Jung viewed Kundalini as the psyche's archetypal energy, rising to integrate the conscious and unconscious. Retention, by fostering discipline, aligns with Jung's individuation, the journey to wholeness. A 2021 Journal of Analytical Psychology article notes that practices conserving energy enhance this process, mirroring Alex's growing sense of purpose. As we close Part 3, the rising flame burns bright. Retention is your sacred fuel, igniting Kundalini, opening the third eye, and revealing your divine potential. Alex, Tenzin, Amun, they are you, ascending through chaos to clarity. In Part 4, we enter the alchemist's tools, where practical techniques, breathwork, detox, meditation, transform this flame into daily mastery. The alchemist's tools. Imagine a vast laboratory, its walls lined with ancient tomes and modern instruments, where an alchemist toils under flickering candlelight. The air hums with potential as raw elements are transformed into gold, not through magic, but through disciplined craft. This laboratory is your body and mind, and the raw element is your sexual energy, conserved through semen retention. In Part 1, we ignited the spark, grounding retention in biology. Part 2 forged the psyche, building clarity and confidence. Part 3 fanned the spiritual flame, awakening Kundalini and divine potential. Now, in Part 4, the alchemist's tools, we equip you with practical techniques, breathwork, detox, meditation, and energy transmutation, to wield this energy in daily life. Through ancient practices, modern science, and relatable stories, we navigate the chaos of modern challenges, transforming raw potential into sacred mastery. Picture Alex, our city dweller, now 6 months into retention. His mornings begin with deep breaths, his body vibrant, his mind a clear lens. The urges that once pulled him to mindless scrolling now fuel his workouts, his art, his connections. He's learned tools, not just to resist, but to transmute, turning desire into creation. This is the alchemist's art. Not suppression, but transformation, using breath, diet, movement, and meditation to channel energy upward. Let's explore these tools, weaving ancient wisdom with practical steps and stories of triumph amidst modern struggles like stress, temptation, and disconnection. Tool 1. Breathwork, the forge of vitality. Breath is the alchemist's bellows, stoking the fire of life. In Tantric and Taoist traditions, breath controls prana or chi, directing sexual energy through the body's channels. When Alex feels the pull of desire, he pauses, inhaling deeply through his nose for 4 counts, holding for 4, exhaling for 8. This pranayama technique, rooted in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, calms the nervous system, shifting energy from the pelvis to the heart and mind. Science supports this. A 2022 Journal of Psychophysiology study found that slow, diaphragmatic breathing increases vagal tone, reducing stress and enhancing focus by 25% within minutes. Try this. Sit with a straight spine, feet flat on the ground. Inhale deeply, visualizing a golden thread of energy rising from your perineum to your crown. Hold, feeling the energy pool at your heart. Exhale, releasing tension. Repeat for 5 minutes. This mirrors the Taoist microcosmic orbit, where energy circulates up the spine, Du Mai, and down the front, Ren Mai. A 2020 Frontiers in Psychology study confirms that such visualization enhances emotional regulation, grounding Alex when work stress or temptation strikes. A story. In ancient India, a warrior, Arjun, faces a restless mind before battle. His guru teaches him Ujjayi breath, ocean-like breathing through a constricted throat. Arjun practices, his energy rising, his focus laser-sharp. He triumphs, not just in battle, but over his inner chaos. Alex mirrors this, using breathwork to navigate a high-stakes presentation, his calm presence captivating his audience. Tool 2. Detox. Purifying the temple. The body is a temple, and detox is its cleansing ritual. In Ayurveda, AMA, toxins from poor diet or lifestyle, blocks ojas, the vital essence. Retention amplifies ojas, but a clogged system dims its radiance. Modern life, with its processed foods and pollutants, creates ama. 80% of adults consume ultra-processed foods daily, per a 2023 American Journal of Clinical Nutrition study, correlating with fatigue and inflammation. Detox clears this, enhancing retention's benefits. Start with diet. Embrace Ayurvedic sattvic foods, fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. Avoid tamasic foods, processed, fried, or sugary items that dull the mind. A 2021 nutrient study links plant-based diets to lower cortisol and higher testosterone, amplifying retention's hormonal boost. Hydrate with warm water or herbal teas like tulsi, which Ayurveda praises for cleansing. Alex swaps energy drinks for green smoothies, noticing sharper focus within days. Fasting, another ancient tool, purifies the system. Intermittent fasting, practiced in Jainism and Taoism, aligns with retention by conserving energy. A 2022 Journal of Endocrinology study found that 16.8 fasting, 16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating, increases growth hormone by 200%. Supporting cellular repair and vitality. Start with a 12-hour fast overnight, eating early dinners. Alex tries this. His mornings vibrant, his energy sustained. Dry brushing, a yogic practice, stimulates lymph flow, detoxing the skin. Brush upward toward the heart before showering, as recommended in Ayurvedic texts like the Ashtanga Hridayam. A 2020 Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine study notes improved circulation and reduced stress markers from this practice. Alex incorporates it, his skin glowing, his energy palpable. A modern story. Maya, a 30-year-old nurse, feels drained by night shifts and junk food. Inspired by retention communities, she adopts a sattvic diet and weekly fasting. Her energy soars, her mood stabilizes, mirroring ancient tales of yogis whose purity amplified their spiritual power. Science backs this. A 2023 Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry study links clean diets to enhanced BDNF, supporting neuroplasticity and mood. Tool 3. Meditation. The Alchemist's Crucible. Meditation is the crucible where energy is refined. In Tantra, meditation channels Shakti upward, awakening chakras. The Vegan Bhairava Tantra offers 112 techniques, many focusing on breath and visualization. Try this. Sit in a quiet space, eyes closed. Focus on the space between your eyebrows, Ajna chakra, the third eye. Visualize a white lotus blooming there, its petals unfolding with each breath. This aligns with Taoist inner smile meditation, where you mentally smile at each organ, fostering harmony. Science validates this. A 2021 neuroimage study found that focused meditation increases gamma wave activity, linked to insight and spiritual experiences. Regular practice, even 10 minutes daily, enhances prefrontal cortex activity per a 2020 Nature Reviews neuroscience study, boosting willpower and emotional clarity. Alex meditates before bed, his dreams vivid, his mornings purposeful. For beginners, start with guided meditations. Apps like Insight Timer offer tantric or Taoist tracks, aligning with retention's energy work. Alternatively, practice mantra japa, repeating a sacred sound like Om 108 times. A 2022 Journal of Spirituality and Mental Health study notes that mantra repetition reduces anxiety by 30%, syncing brainwaves to a theta state, ideal for spiritual connection. A story from ancient China. Wei, a scholar, struggles with distraction. His Taoist master teaches him to visualize qi rising like mist from a lake. Wei meditates daily, his focus sharpening, his exams mastered. Alex mirrors this, using meditation to quiet work stress, his ideas flowing like Wei's mist. Retention amplifies this, preserving energy for sustained practice, as ejaculation can disrupt meditative depth, per Ayurvedic texts. Tool 4. Energy transmutation, the art of sublimation. Transmutation is the alchemist's masterpiece, turning base desire into gold. In Tantra, sexual energy is redirected through bandhas. Energy locks. The Mula Bandha, root lock, involves contracting the perineum, channeling energy upward. Practice this. During breathwork, gently contract the pelvic floor as you inhale, holding for a few seconds, then release. This mirrors Taoist testicle breathing, where energy is drawn from the testes to the spine. A 2020 International Journal of Yoga study found that bandhas enhance pelvic nerve sensitivity, supporting energy flow. Physical exercise is a modern transmutation tool. Weightlifting, running, or martial arts channel energy into strength. The 2023 Journal of Sports Sciences study links exercise to increase dopamine and serotonin, reducing the urge for instant gratification. Alex joins a boxing gym, each punch a release of pent-up energy, his confidence soaring. Ancient warriors, like Spartan hoplites, practiced retention before battle, their energy fueling courage, per historical accounts. Creative pursuits are another channel. Freud's concept of sublimation, redirecting libido into art or work, aligns with retention. Paint, write, or play music. A 2021 Psychology of Aesthetics, Creativity, and the Arts study found that creative expression enhances well-being, especially when paired with discipline. Alex paints, his canvas is vibrant, his energy channeled into beauty. A modern story. Jake, the graphic designer from Part 2, transmutes energy through dance. After 90 days of retention, he joins a salsa class, his movements fluid, his shyness gone. This echoes tantric tales of yogis dancing to awaken Shakti. Science supports this. A 2022 Journal of Positive Psychology study links movement-based practices to increased life satisfaction, amplifying retention's effects. Navigating modern challenges. These tools face modern obstacles: stress, temptation, time. Work stress, affecting 77% of professionals per a 2023 Deloitte survey, triggers relapse. Counter this with Kegel exercises, strengthening the pelvic floor to reduce urges, per a 2021 Journal of Sexual Medicine study. Temptation, fueled by porn's accessibility, requires boundaries. Use website blockers like cold turkey and replace screen time with nature walks. A 2020 environmental research study links nature exposure to reduced cortisol, grounding Alex when urges arise. Time scarcity is real. 60% of adults report lacking time for self-care, per a 2023 Gallup poll. Integrate tools into daily life. Breathe deeply during commutes, meditate for 5 minutes before sleep, eat one sattvic meal daily. Consistency compounds as Alex learns, his small habits building a fortress of discipline, a tale of transformation. Consider Ravi, a 35-year-old accountant burned out and disconnected. Inspired by retention forums, he adopts these tools: morning breathwork, a sattvic diet, evening meditation, and running. By month 3, his anxiety fades. His relationships deepen, his spreadsheets become creative puzzles. This mirrors ancient tales of alchemists turning lead into gold, their discipline unlocking hidden potential. Science agrees. A 2023 Journal of Behavioral Medicine study links integrated lifestyle changes to a 40% increase in life satisfaction. Bridging ancient and modern. These tools bridge worlds. Breathwork aligns with vagal stimulation, detox with nutritional science, meditation with neuroplasticity, transmutation with psychological sublimation. Retention is the catalyst, preserving energy for transformation. Alex, once lost in neon haze, now stands as an alchemist, his life a testament to mastery. As Part 4 closes, the alchemist's tools are yours. Breath, detox, meditation, and transmutation forge a path through chaos, turning raw energy into gold. In Part 5, The Sacred Mastery, we culminate with a call to lifelong devotion, weaving these tools into a vision of awakening, the Sacred Mastery. Envision a vast, starlit desert, stretching boundless under a sky ablaze with constellations. At its heart stands a solitary figure, bathed in moonlight, his presence a beacon of quiet power. His feet are rooted in the warm sand, his gaze lifted to the heavens, as if drawing the universe's wisdom into his core. This is you, the alchemist, standing at the culmination of a transformative journey. Your sexual energy, once scattered like grains of sand in the wind, is now conserved through semen retention, a sacred flame honed into a radiant force. In the first chapter, we ignited the spark, grounding retention in the biology of vitality and focus. In the second, we forged the mind, crafting clarity and confidence. In the third, we fanned the spiritual flame, awakening kundalini and divine potential. In the fourth, we wielded the alchemist's tools, breath, detox, meditation, transmutation, to shape this energy amidst life's chaos. Now, in this final chapter, The Sacred Mastery, we weave these threads into a lifelong vision, a call to embody retention as a path of devotion, purpose, and awakening. Through stories of triumph, ancient wisdom, modern science, and metaphors of ascension, we confront the modern voids of emptiness and disconnection, igniting a fire that burns eternal. Picture Alex, our city dweller, now a year into his practice. The neon haze of his past life is a distant memory, replaced by a rhythm of purpose. His mornings pulse with breathwork, his days flow with creative energy, his nights hum with meditative stillness. He is no longer the man who scrolled aimlessly, drained by fleeting pleasures. He is a creator, a lover, a seeker. His energy, a river channeled toward meaning. Retention has become his sacred vow, not a fleeting experiment, but a way of being, a devotion to his highest self. This is the essence of sacred mastery. Not a destination, but a lifelong dance with the divine spark within. This mastery begins with a shift in perspective. Semen retention is not a mere technique, not a checklist of abstinence, but a sacred pact with your potential. In the Taoist tradition, conserving Jing, the essence of life, is a reverence for the Tao, the universal flow that weaves all existence. The Tao Te Ching speaks of returning to the source, a state of harmony where body, mind, and spirit align. In Ayurveda, retention builds ojas, the nectar of vitality that radiates as love, wisdom, and connection to Brahman, the divine reality. Tantra calls this the union of Shiva and Shakti, masculine and feminine energies merging within to birth a state of blissful awareness. This is not denial of desire, but its sanctification, a commitment to channel every drop of your essence toward creation, connection, and awakening. Let us weave a story to bring this alive. In ancient Greece, a sculptor named Callias toils over a block of marble, his hands trembling with doubt. His mentor, a philosopher priest, teaches him to conserve his vital seed, to pour his energy into his craft rather than fleeting pleasures. Callias dedicates himself, chiseling by day, meditating by night, his energy a fire that shapes stone into gods. His final statue, a figure of Athena, glows with such lifelike grace that the village believes it divine. Callias, through retention, has not just sculpted marble but himself, becoming a vessel of the sacred. Alex mirrors this, his paintings now vibrant with soul, his presence a quiet force that draws others near. This is mastery, living as the sculptor of your own destiny. Science offers a lens on this transformation. Retention, as we've seen, spikes testosterone, stabilizes cortisol, and boosts brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, fostering vitality, resilience, and neuroplasticity. But its true power lies in longevity, sustaining these benefits over time. A 2023 Journal of Behavioral Medicine study found that men practicing long-term intentional abstinence reported a 35% increase in life satisfaction, driven by sustained energy and purpose. This aligns with the concept of eudaimonia, Aristotle's vision of flourishing through a life of virtue. Retention becomes a virtuous cycle. Each day of discipline strengthens the neural pathways of focus and self-control, per a 2021 neuroscience study, making mastery not just possible, but natural. Yet, the modern world tests this mastery. Emptiness gnaws at the soul. 60% of young adults report a lack of meaning, per a 2023 Pew Research survey, compounded by the isolation of digital life. Pornography, with its billions of annual views, promises connection but delivers a hollow ache, as Alex once knew. Retention counters this, not by suppressing desire, but by redirecting it toward what endures. In tantric practice, this is brahmacharya, living in alignment with the divine, where every act becomes an offering. Alex, once lost in screens, now finds meaning in small rituals. A morning run, a heartfelt conversation, a canvas alive with color. These are not escapes, but anchors, grounding him in a life of purpose. Let us explore a modern tale. Maria, a 40-year-old therapist, watches her client, Daniel, transform through retention. Once plagued by anxiety and self-doubt, Daniel adopts the tools of breathwork, sattvic diet, and meditation. Over months, his eyes brighten, his voice steadies, his therapy sessions shift from venting to visioning a life of service. He starts a community garden, his energy a seed that blooms into connection. This echoes ancient tales of yogis whose conserved energy radiated compassion, like the Buddha, who channeled his vitality into enlightenment. Science supports this. A 2022 Journal of Positive Psychology study found that purpose-driven activities, amplified by disciplined lifestyles, enhance well-being and social bonds. Daniel's garden is Alex's canvas, your own calling, a testament to mastery's ripple effect. This mastery demands devotion, a daily recommitment to the path. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna urges Arjuna to act with discipline, unattached to outcomes, a principle mirrored in retention. Each moment of restraint is a prayer, each choice to transmute desire a step toward the divine. But devotion is not rigid. It is fluid, adapting to life's seasons. Alex learns this when stress spikes. A project deadline, a family argument. He breathes deeply, grounds himself in nature, and redirects his energy into problem-solving. A 2020 environmental research study confirms nature's power to lower cortisol, a tool for navigating life's storms. Mastery is not perfection, but persistence, a dance with the ebb and flow of existence. Let us deepen this with metaphor. Your life is a cathedral, its spire reaching for the stars, its foundation rooted in the earth. Semen is the sacred oil that fuels its eternal flame. Each drop conserved a prayer to your potential. Waste it, and the cathedral dims. Retain it, and the flame soars, illuminating every corner of your being. In Ayurveda, this is Tejas, the inner radiance born of Ojas. In Taoism, it is Shen, the spirit that shines when Jing is preserved. In Tantra, it is the union of opposites, the alchemical marriage that births divine awareness. Alex feels this radiance in his connections. His friendships deepen, his work inspires, his solitude is no longer lonely but sacred. Science illuminates this radiance. Long-term retention enhances vagal tone, per a 2022 psychophysiology study, fostering emotional balance and empathy, qualities of a mastered soul. The pineal gland, linked to the third eye, thrives on conserved zinc and magnesium, supporting intuitive clarity, as a 2021 Journal of Pineal Research study suggests. Alex's flashes of insight, moments of knowing without knowing why, are the cathedral's windows, letting in the light of the divine. This is not mysticism alone. It is neurobiology, psychology, and spirituality converging in the alchemist's art. But mastery faces shadows. Relapse looms, especially in moments of loneliness or failure. A 2022 addiction research and theory study notes that emotional triggers, stress, rejection, boredom, fuel porn addiction. Alex counters this with ritual. When urges arise, he journals, naming the feeling as psychology advises, reducing its power. He walks barefoot on grass, grounding his energy, a practice rooted in Ayurveda and backed by science for reducing inflammation. He meditates, visualizing energy rising like a phoenix, a tantric technique that calms the mind. These are not mere tactics, but acts of devotion, each a brick in the cathedral of his life. A final story weaves this vision. In ancient Japan, a samurai named Hiroshi seeks Satori, sudden enlightenment. His Zen master teaches him to conserve his life force, to channel it into meditation and sword play. Hiroshi practices, his blade an extension of his will, his meditations piercing the veil of illusion. One dawn, as cherry blossoms fall, he glimpses the unity of all things, his heart a mirror of the cosmos. Today, retention communities echo this. A programmer shares how a year of retention turned his code into art, his life into a quest for meaning. Science nods. Long-term discipline enhances neuroplasticity, per a 2023 Neuroscience Letters study, allowing the brain to rewire for purpose and insight. This mastery extends beyond the self. In Tantra, conserved energy is offered to the world, a gift of presence and love. Alex notices this in his relationships. He listens deeply, his empathy a bridge across disconnection. A 2023 Journal of Social and Personal Relationships study links disciplined lifestyles to stronger bonds, as energy once spent on fleeting pleasures now fuels connection. In Ayurveda, Ojas radiates as charisma, drawing others near. In Taoism, Shen shines as wisdom, guiding others to their own light. This is the alchemist's legacy. not just personal awakening, but a spark that ignites others. Yet, mastery is not solitary. Community amplifies it. Ancient ashrams, modern forums like NoFap, where men share stories of rebirth. Alex joins a group, their shared commitment, a fire that warms all. A 2021 Journal of Community Psychology study found that support groups enhance resilience, doubling the likelihood of sustained change. Whether through friends, mentors, or online tribes, find your circle, your Sangha, to walk this path. As we stand at this journey's crest, let us reflect. The modern world offers emptiness. Scrolling screens, fractured bonds, a soul adrift. Retention offers fullness, a return to the sacred. It is not about denying pleasure, but elevating it, making every act, work, love, creation, a prayer. In the Upanishads, the sage declares, "You are that. The divine is within you." Retention unveils this truth. Each conserved, drop a step toward your godlike potential. Let us close with a call, a whisper from the stars above that desert. You are the alchemist, the sculptor, the samurai. Your energy is sacred, your life a canvas for mastery. Breathe deeply, eat purely, meditate daily, transmute desire into destiny. When the world tempts you to scatter your essence, pause and choose the path of devotion. Alex stands as proof, once lost, now found, his life a cathedral of light. So too can you be. This is the sacred mastery, a lifelong vow to live as the divine spark you are, to forge a world radiant with purpose. Step forward, alchemist. The stars are watching, and your journey has just begun.